Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of my tutorial video channel. In this episode, I will discuss the shutdown point and supply curve of a perfectly competitive firm in the short run. For that, we have to draw the diagram. So, through this diagram, I will show which is the shutdown point of a perfectly competitive firm. That means at which point the firm would shut down, that is, the firm would stop producing anything, and what is the supply curve of the perfectly competitive firm in the short run. So for that, we have to draw a diagram depicting price, average revenue, marginal revenue, average cost and marginal cost. Let this be the short run marginal cost curve of the firm. SMC is the short run marginal cost curve of the firm. Let this be the AC curve, short run average cost curve, and very importantly, this is the short run average variable cost curve. SAVC is the short run average variable cost curve. Initially, say the price is P sub 1. On x-axis we measure quantity and on y-axis we measure price, AR, MR, AC, MC and AVC, average variable cost. Suppose initially the price is P sub 1. This is the price. P sub 1 is the price which is determined in the industry, and as we have learned in earlier video that the perfectly competitive firms are only price takers. They cannot make the price. The price is fixed in the industry by the interaction between demand curve and supply curve, and that price is accepted by all the firms operating in the market. So this P sub 1 price is accepted by this firm. And what is the equilibrium quantity determined? The equilibrium quantity is determined by the intersection of marginal revenue curve and marginal cost curve. This is the AR and also MR curve for a perfectly competitive firm. We have learned in earlier video that the AR and MR curve is horizontal straight line parallel to x-axis. This is the price. So price is equal to AR, which is equal to MR in case of a perfectly competitive firm, not in case of monopoly or monopolistic competitive firm. In case of perfectly competitive firm, the demand curve is the average revenue curve, which is the marginal revenue curve, and which is the price. So when price is P sub 1, marginal revenue curve and marginal cost curve intersect at this point. So this is equilibrium quantity. Say this is Q sub 1. When P sub 1 is the price, equilibrium quantity is Q sub 1. Now suppose price has fallen to P sub 2. This is P sub 2. So equilibrium quantity falls from Q sub 1 to Q sub 2. Okay. In both these cases, that is at both these price levels, the farm is earning supernormal profit. Why? Because the average revenue curve is lying the average variable cost. In both the cases, here and here, air lie above the AC. So, even at P2 price, the farm is earning profit. Suppose price further falls and it falls to the level where it touches the minimum point of average cost curve. So here, this is price, say P sub 3. At this point, marginal revenue curve intersects marginal cost curve, and at this point, short-term average cost is minimum. So the farm is producing say Q sub 3 units. Q sub 3 units are being produced by the farm when the price, the market price is P sub 3. Here the farm is at this point no supernormal profit, no abnormal loss. The farm is said to be having only normal profit because the average cost has become equal to average revenue. Correct? Suppose the price further falls to P sub 4. Say this is P sub 4. So, equilibrium quantity will fall from Q sub 3 to Q sub 4. This is Q sub 4. Now you see, at price P sub 4, short-term average cost curve lies above the average revenue curve. This means the farm is incurring loss, that is abnormal loss. The farm is incurring abnormal loss. The question is, shall the farm continue doing business or shall the farm go out of the market? The answer is no, the farm won't go out of the market. Why? You see, in the short run, some factors are fixed and some factors are variable. Okay? The farm cannot change the fixed factors like plant and machinery, management, etc. in the short run. So long as the farm's revenue is able to cover up the average variable cost, the farm would go on producing. That means the farm would go on running the business. In management accounting, we have a very important topic called marginal costing. Marginal costing is a method as well as a technique of costing which is very widely used for management decision making. There we have seen that sales minus variable cost is equal to contribution. Sales minus variable cost is equal to contribution, and then contribution minus fixed cost is equal to profit. Okay. Now, if contribution is more than fixed cost, then the farm is earning positive profit. When contribution is equal to fixed cost, break even, this is called break even, that is the farm is only breaking even, that is not earning any profit, neither the farm is incurring any loss. And what happens if contribution becomes less than fixed cost? What will happen then? If contribution becomes less than fixed cost, that means the farm is making loss, there is negative profit. Negative profit or loss. Right? So contribution should be such as to cover the fixed cost and then contribute towards profit. Now, if contribution itself becomes negative, then what will happen? If S minus V itself becomes something negative, then what will happen? That means variable cost becomes more than sales. Then what will happen? The simple answer is the firm will stop doing business. In the same way, here you see at P4 price the firm is incurring loss, still the firm is able to cover up its variable cost because the average revenue curve is above the average variable cost. So the firm will not shut down. Okay? It is clear? Price further falls to P sub 5. This is P sub 5. So quantity becomes Q sub 5. Still, the price or average revenue is more than average variable cost. Okay, the price is more than average variable cost. That is, S minus B is still positive in terms of marginal costing in management accounting. The same logic applies here too. Since S minus B is still positive, the firm will continue doing business. But if price further falls to the level, it becomes tangent to the minimum point of ABC. That is, at this point, the marginal revenue curve, this is the marginal revenue curve. At this point, the marginal revenue curve is intersecting the marginal cost curve. This is the last point the firm is willing to go. Why? If price further falls, say to P sub 6, then you see the average revenue curve is lying below the average variable cost curve. This is Q6. So if price falls below P sub 5, then the firm won't be able to recover its variable cost. Okay? So firm will not do that. So as soon as the price reaches this point, P6, this is P sub 6 and this is P sub 7. As soon as price reaches P sub 6, that is, it is equal to the minimum point of average variable cost, the firm will not move further. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, P sub 7, right? So, below P sub C price, the firm will not produce anything. That means supply of the firm will become zero. So, this is called the shutdown point. This is called the shutdown point. That is, if price falls below the minimum point of average variable cost, then the firm will stop producing anything. Okay? So this is all about the shutdown point of a perfectly competitive firm operating in the market. Now we would discuss what is the supply curve of a perfectly competitive firm in the short run. I am erasing this part. So P sub 6 is the price, that is the minimum. When the price becomes equal to the minimum of average variable cost, the firm stops producing anything. That is, at any price below P sub 7 is not acceptable to the firm as long as operating in the market is concerned. That means the firm will not operate in the market, but the firm will quit the market. Now I would discuss which is the supply curve. We know that supply is a function of price and other non-price determinants as well. But supply varies directly with price. When price increases, supply increases. Right? Now you see, at P sub 1 price, quantity supplied is Q sub 1. At P sub 2 price, quantity supplied is Q sub 2. At P sub 3 price, quantity supplied is Q sub 3. At P sub 4 price, quantity supplied is Q sub 4. At P sub 5 price, quantity supplied is Q sub 5. At P sub 6 price, quantity supplied is Q sub 6. And at P sub 7 price, nothing is supplied. Isn't it? So, as a matter of fact, this portion of the short-term marginal cost curve, that is the portion above the minimum variable cost, this portion, supply curve is always upward sloping, and the part above the minimum average variable cost is the supply curve of the firm. Why? Because below average variable cost, the firm will not supply anything. The supply will be simply zero. So we can say, so the short-run marginal cost curve above the average variable cost is the short-run supply curve of the firm. Supply curve shows what? The price quantity relationship. If P sub 1 is price, Q sub 1 is quantity, price rises to P sub 2, quantity rises to Q sub 2, and so on. And the marginal cost curve above the minimum average variable cost curve is doing the same thing. The short-term marginal cost curve above the minimum average variable cost curve shows the different combinations of price and quantity. That means what will be the quantity supplied at a particular price level. Hence, the portion of the short-term marginal cost curve that lies above the minimum point of short-term average variable cost curve is indeed the short-run supply curve of a perfectly competitive firm. Okay? Yeah. So far so good. So in this episode, we have learned which is the shutdown point of a firm in the short run under perfectly competitive market, and what is the short run supply curve of the firm, that is the short run marginal cost curve above the short run average variable minimum point of short run average variable cost. Correct? So this is enough for this video. I hope this is well understood by you. Still, should you have any doubt in your mind, if you have any query, if you think any particular point needs further explanation or clarification, or if any particular question is in the back of your mind, please feel comfortable to let me know through the comment section. I shall be more than glad to respond to all the relevant queries coming from you. And if you think this video is beneficial for you, please do share the video with your friends, brothers, sisters and colleagues so that they can also derive benefit by watching this video. Finally, thank you very much for your precious time. Stay well. Goodbye. Good day.